How bad are Southern California home sales? We're going to show you exactly how big that is. It's time for the Southern California Housing Market Report. We are going to run through year-to-date sales for Southern California, going all the way back to 2018. We're going to run through the single-family and multifamily numbers like we always do. We're going to give you a sneak peek at median home prices, and then stick around to the end where we run through some of the things to wonder about in fourth quarter for Southern California home sales. Hey there, Christian Walsh, real estate agent with YeartoDate Associates. We've been helping only the smartest buyers and sellers make the best data-driven decisions in this crazy market. So if you're ready to dive into a whole lot of numbers, including the hit that like button. And let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to dive into the year-to-date sales. So what we're comparing here is quarters 1 through 3 going back to 2018. Why is it important to include 2018? Well, we have 2018 and 19. Those are more normal years. Then COVID sales were off. Then we had a surge of 2021. And now things are different this year. And you can quickly surmise the big difference that we see in the sales in Southern California. And this is all 6 of the counties that we cover. The sales that have closed year to date for 2023 are somewhere between 60 and 70% of more normal years. And that doesn't include, we're not including 2021 when it rallied and went through the roof. If you compare that, in some cases, the sales this year are closer to 50% of that number. So the number of closed sales has dramatically dropped. You can see the same trend in the other 3 counties. The numbers of closed sales are down dramatically. What do you think fourth quarter is going to bring? Are we going to see an increase in sales? I know I have my opinion. I want to hear yours. Put it down below. And we're going to talk briefly at the end of this video about what to expect in fourth quarter. Taking a quick run through the county numbers, the number of closed sales, pending sales, and new listings in September is going back to 2018, those more normal years of 2018 and 2019. We're doing this quickly because it's the same thing I've been saying for a while. New listings are down and pending sales are down, although those numbers are very close in Orange County. So if you're out there writing offers, you may see multiple offers. LA County, we can see that big drop in the number of new listings, but pending sales, that gap is pretty significant. There's a big gap there. We haven't seen it tighten up incredibly as we have in other counties. So LA, there could be multiple offers at certain price points, but it's not going to be as tough to find something to buy as it is in Orange. And Riverside, similar tale. We can see that pending sales are exceeding sold sales at this time. You can see that gap there. So that means that we're going to see more sold properties. We're actually going to see an increase in the number of sold properties. So that's a market that actually this time of year should be going this way, but it's going this way, and we've talked about that as well. San Bernardino, another market similar to Riverside, where we're seeing that increase in the number of sales. Ventura, always all over the place. Lowest number of pending sales we've seen in a long time, and almost a third of 2020 when you look at pending sales. So this is a market we have to keep watching. As I've mentioned before, it is not necessarily related to any other market in Southern California because Ventura is always marching to its own drummer, but definitely something to watch, especially if you're looking to buy or sell in Ventura. And then San Diego has been moving along, and we can see that we've got a close gap between pending sales and new listings, similar to 2021, definitely tighter than 2022. So right now at this point in time in San Diego, feeling like more of a seller's market. That's why we run through this. I've been saying these things over and over, and all our email newsletter subscribers get this data. Moving into the multifamily numbers, one of the only places where you're going to get this data consistently for Southern California. And here's an area of opportunity. And running through all these numbers, I haven't seen such a large gap. Look at the number of new listings, 81 in Orange County in September, and that's similar to more normal years. But the pending sales, the number that went under contract, 36, that's a record low for this time of year. So if this trend continues, we're going to see inventory start to stick. And I've seen this in certain cities, for example, Huntington Beach, looking for some investors. We're seeing more properties come to the market and sit. So this could be an area of opportunity for investors. Now, granted, it's a crazy high interest rate environment as compared to recent times, and it's tough for properties to pencil with cash flow, but you might be able to negotiate a deal if inventory continues increasing. So watch for Orange County opportunities. And then we get into LA, a crazy market where most of these properties that are being bought and sold are under rent control. So the landlord doesn't have the ability to raise rent to market unless the tenant moves out. And if it's under RSO in LA City, they haven't been able to do a rent increase for 3 years. Moving into Riverside, which tends to be a higher cap rate environment, just like San Bernardino, we can see that the number of new listings are down. The pending sales, that's pretty consistent, that line. So it's been consistent going back to 2018. But with the listings where they are, this is definitely a seller's market in Riverside. So it's interesting to see Orange County, Riverside right next to each other, but it looks like Orange County, there's opportunity for a deal. Riverside, I'm not seeing an opportunity for a deal. San Bernardino, we saw a big upswing in new listings, 2020 and 2021. That has leveled off, and we have pretty strong demand and low supply there. This is not quite as hot of a seller's market as Riverside, but definitely a seller's market, another higher cap rate market. And then Ventura, always all over the place. Let's see what's going on. 7 new listings, 4 went under contract. So kind of a normal market, lower than previous years, but probably pretty normal there in Ventura. And then San Diego, we can see that inventory and demand are pretty similar, not too different from years past. The tightest it got was 2021 between the new listings and pending sales, but a normal market for San Diego. So of the 6 markets, it looks like OC is presenting some opportunity if you're looking to buy. Don't even think about making a move to buy or sell in Southern California before reaching out to us. We'll do a little sneak at a peek look here at the median home price. It's still a little early. These numbers can change slightly as more numbers come in because realtors sometimes mark stuff late between you and I. But let's take a look here, and we can see that first things first, month over month that we have a drop in Riverside and Orange County in the median home price. LA is pretty flat month over month. Now, is that scary? No, this is the time of year it should be dropping. In fact, it should have already turned and been dropping, but it decided to peak last month. And I did a video on that. It was a complete shocker. Now look at these year over year increases. So we can see that year over year, Orange County's up almost 13% for pricing, LA 3.4, and Riverside's flat. Now it's slightly off the peak that we had in April of 2022, but again, not a surprise. We are always off the peak this month because values drop as we get into the holidays. But those year over year increases, while we've had massive interest rate increases, and it's a testament that there isn't enough inventory and still strong demand, although we'll see what happens as interest rates continue to move their way up. And then a similar tale with our other 3 counties. Month over month, we see a drop for San Bernardino, Ventura, and San Diego. Not a surprise. We are off the peak. Not a surprise. Year over year, San Bernardino 2.4, Ventura 7.7, San Diego 7.5. Part of what's adding to these impressive year over year increases is the fact that we didn't drop like we normally did. We dropped much later in median home price than we normally do at this time of year. So we're stronger right now than we would be typically, and we're definitely stronger year over year for all of Southern California. So we just put a fork in the third quarter, and now it is the fourth quarter of 2023, and we are going to have a Costco-sized bucket of uncertainty in this fourth quarter. We potentially could have a government shutdown in mid-November. We just avoided it here at the start of October, but who knows what's going to happen in the next 45 days. The Fed fund rate, we have 2 more chances for increases before the end of the year. Mortgage interest rates could go ahead and tick their way on up through 8%, a level we haven't seen in well over 20 years. Of course, there's always the next Black Swan event. If you hang out on YouTube in the wrong corners, they're always talking about those. Never anything really concrete as to what it is, but there's one coming. And not to mention it's the fourth quarter and most people are busy with sugar plums and celebrating holidays to actually be out there buying and selling real estate. So we typically see things are slower. With uncertainty comes opportunity. Let us know in the comments below if you are going to be dipping your toe into this fourth quarter real estate market. We want to hear your perspective and if there's anything else you think that could happen fourth quarter. As mentioned, you'll get all the charts from this video if you subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter. Only the smartest people do, so if you're not smart enough, don't bother signing up. And if you've liked this video, you're going to absolutely love this next one. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and we can't wait to hear from you.